Hi, welcome to Design It with Tammie Gibbs. I'm Tammie, and today I am going to be doing part 1B of the video series that I have started doing on the Artistly interface slash menu. And so I'm going to jump right in and get to part B. So, in part A, I basically went through and showed you what the under the Fast AI Image Designer, the AI Image Designer version 6, this tier, I called it a layer, I think. I like tier better. All of the buttons under here. So today we are going to be exploring this tier a little bit more in depth because I showed you that you can basically use these as individual designers, and you can work with them as a base designer. But now we're going to be exploring exactly some of the additional capabilities of what you can do. Okay. So, create from prompts, self explanatory. You can use your prompts. You can use this as a basic generator. Same thing with version 4, the perfect text. We're going to explore the perfect text. Okay, so I'm going to use a very basic, build a very basic uh, prompt, and I'm going to pop into my playbooks and probably just grab something. Let's grab, um, okay, let's go here, and we're just going to go into the whimsical fantasy, and I'm going to pop around here. Let's do Mythical Phoenix Rising. I'm just going to grab this little prompt. It's just a starter prompt, but that's what I'm going to do is start something here. So I've got this particular one, the perfect text. If you do not want it to change your prompt, be sure and it defaults to the enhanced prompt. Another thing you're going to notice under this is you do have the aspect ratios you can change, but it does not give you an option to create more than one image at a time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Mythical Phoenix Rising. So what I want to do is I want to put this on a tag of some sort. So I'm going to type in watercolor, and this is just basic. Well, let's go up to watercolor. Let's go up here to. Let's go back here, and let me. Let's see. I don't see any of those, so let's go back to the watercolor, and we're just going to do illustrative watercolor. I'm going to grab that one. I'm going to come back over here and add that to the front. Okay. Rising Golden Flames, Soft Celestial Highlights with the text. Spellbound. I just want something general. Okay. So we're going to change the aspect ratio. Over here, we can select our folder that we want this to be created in. I'm just going to do this one. And we want it to stay private, okay? You do have the option to use your magic wand to edit it. You can also use the enhanced prompt if you want. You can also use Mirror Magic under this particular button. But this one is supposed to be optimized for doing text. So if you want to do a card or a a sign, anything like that you want text on. It's supposed to be improved for that. Now, it does take a little bit longer than a regular prompt. So here we have our image, spellbound. Now, it added this, but I can take that off. Sometimes it adds different things that we don't ask for, but you can see that created our image, and it spelled it correctly. So that is the, go back up here. So that's our perfect text and image designer. Okay, so artistic designer. I think I've already discussed, the types of things. If you really want a very artistic-y image, watercolors do really well in there. Let me go back and sample some of the ones we did in the, these are some samples of, let me show you. Okay, so this is in the artistic designer. So you get these sort of looks here. Okay, so if we go back up and we go to version 2, that is, like I said, it tends to create a more minimalistic. So like if you're looking for the little dot eyes on little characters or whatever, then this one does handle that a little bit better than the regular artistic designer. The photorealism, it's exactly the way that, a beautiful, or let's just put a cute little girl wearing a 1800s, or wearing 1800s attire. She has brown hair and brown eyes and a toddler curly hairstyle. We want to go and grab the illustrative watercolor here. We're going to try this one. And we're going to put that here. Okay. So this is actually, we accomplished this by under the photorealism, but it's actually a watercolor. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually regenerate it and take out the watercolor and just leave the cute little girl. And then you're going to be able to see the difference. And here we have a photorealistic little girl. Cute, right? Okay, so that's what your photorealism does. But you actually can vary it and still get like a watercolor. So it's all about your prompting, but it's the photorealism. So if you really want photorealism, then that gives you something that is, like I said, it's trained on photorealistic images, just like the text one is trained on text. So that is like its superpower, you could say. That's what its intent was. Not that you can't get other things, but that it gives you something that was trained specifically on that. Let's jump back in. So we're to the photorealistic. Same thing with animals. You saw that we did something other than animals. I'm going to actually take, and let's go back to, let's grab the one that we had so we can just test it a little bit further. let's go with this one right here. I'm going to grab that and we're going to try it under the animals. Okay. We're going to go back over here to animal. We'll go into the cinematic style and we'll just see what it does. Now that was with the photorealistic. It did not mention the style, the watercolor style or anything like that. Ooh, pretty. How pretty is that? And that is under the cinematic style, under the animal feature. So, oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. Let me try it with the watercolor now because that is really cool. So, even if it's not an animal, we can get some pretty cool images under the animal feature. Oh my goodness. So, we're going to try this again. And we're going to go back up here to animal, to cinematic style. And now we have to paste it again because it wasn't in the right place. So let's look and see what the watercolor looks like there. But she's gorgeous. I think oh, neat. I mean, it's not really a look that I go with my watercolors, but I believe I could play with the prompt to get something different. But now as far as this to me is better than the photorealistic look. I mean, it's kind of not. It's kind of in between, like a painting and the photo. This is more photorealistic, but I mean, I really like this one. Looks great. Okay, so now let's try. Let's try it. Let's try one of the other ones here. Let's do real life animals and see if maybe that is a more photorealistic kind of look. I'm going to take this off and do it like it's just the little girl without the watercolor. Okay, interesting look. I don't know. I like the other one. I like the cinematic better. But, you know, this may definitely be something that can be used. It gives you some options to play with, and these may be your styles, but I like the cinematic. So I would probably come closer to using the cinematic. Now, I wonder, and I'm just playing now. So I'm going into my table of contents for this is the Christmas florals, and I want I'm just going to do this basic prompt and try it as well. I'm going to try it under the cinematic and see how it does. Because this isn't a kid. It's not a... Okay. I'm just interested about the florals here. Let's go to the grouped phrases of... See if we can find one. This is for a Christmas wreath. And copy that. Go back into the animal, the cinematic. And we want it to be just to see what you can do with it. But again, okay, so we ended up with more of a realistic looking. That's kind of cool. We can regenerate it. Now we're going to go into here and go to soft watercolor. Add that in to the front. And where I'm going to, for people that aren't familiar with my playbooks, these are my playbooks that I have the PDFs of up there that I can go in and quickly copy and paste to build my prompts. So we're just going to try this. Ooh, that's pretty. Wow, I love that. Now that is under animal. That is gorgeous. That did a really pretty watercolor there for that. So again, this is the cinematic style, and I really like that. I believe I could use that. Okay, so now let's go and explore some more. So now our next one is that seamless patterns, which, as you already know, we've already demonstrated a little bit about that. So we're going to take and actually, I'm going to paste in that same. Actually, no. Let's go back up here and grab it real quick. I had added that, so I need to go to my designs and grab this one so we can compare it. Whoops. I'm getting all crazy with my selections this morning, hitting the wrong buttons. Okay. So what we're going to do now is go back into the animal, and I'm just going to, the seamless patterns, and we're going to use that one. And we know that it only does the 1:1, so the square aspect ratio. But just to give you a sample, people are loving this to do not only just the patterns, but, oh, that's pretty too. That's a pretty image. So you see how pretty? Lovely. And that prompt basically is a combination of the watercolor coming from the version, the volume 2, which is the clip art playbook. And also I have one, it's a Christmas florals playbook, which is really cool. It has all the different kind of Christmas flowers in there that you can't remember the names of, and you can just copy and paste them and work them into your plans. And that is really pretty. Okay, so let's pop back up. And of course, seamless patterns. You can do seamless patterns. And if you're going to do seamless patterns, let me just go back in and show you. Okay, if you're going to do a seamless pattern of, then you would want to paste your prompt here afterwards. So we can actually use that and see what it does as a seamless pattern of, just to look and see. I don't know how that will come up because the prompt wasn't designed for a seamless pattern, but you never can tell. Oh, look, it's got the little wreaths. That's cute. So if you want your seamless patterns, then this is the version to do that with as well. Always check to make sure they truly are seamless. But that is what it was originally designed for, and now everybody is using it for everything. So, okay, so back in here, that takes us to the logo. Now, if we just want to do a logo, obviously you can click in here. And then if you want it to be luxurious, and then, you want to change that, you can use it just as it is. You could just change and I'll put a G. And so you can get those logos, but you can also direct it to do you a logo the way you want. You can use your prompting to change that up, but see, you can quickly do, here's a quick logo that's really pretty. So we could, I'm just going to show you what you can do. So instead of doing consist of a single capitalized letter, say consist of, you can change this here. Design it with Tammie Gibbs. And a classic centered, and we'll see how that does. If it'll put the whole thing inside there. But see, you would basically just work with logo prompts or using the prompts that are already there to get something sent. Now, see, that's cute. Design it with Tammie Gibbs. So it created that logo. And we could be more specific, but that's really quick. That's a cute little way to do that. If we go back into that feature, you see that you have different versions here. So we could do something along this lines, or this is more modern. That's the elegant. This is the minimalist. So depending on what you wanted to do. So let's just try it. And just play with it. Okay. So we'll use mine as an example. We can, now this is the whole thing here. Okay. So we don't want to use all that. So we won't do that. We're just going to take and plug in to get kind of the elements that you're wanting to do. So let's go back over here. Okay. So go to logo. We're going to do minimalist. We'll just look at it. We're going to look for where it says the clean line. So if we want all that to stay the same, and then we want to add, okay, and then below the circular design, place, design it. And it doesn't have to be all caps. We can change that. Using a modern thin sans serif. We'll see what that turns out like. Shh. Sorry. All right. So it gave, it didn't actually put it on there. Let's regenerate it and let's look at why it didn't. Okay. So below the circular design, place using modern thin. I think it did, but we're going to say white. Font color should be white because otherwise it's not going to show up. And we can change that out. Let's try that now. I think it was there, but it matched this too much and it didn't show the writing. There we go. So design it with Tammie Gibbs under it. This was too dark, so it didn't show. So we would have to work with that. Okay, so that's that. So you see how that works? You can change out and get the basic layouts, but that doesn't mean you can't do your own thing within it. So let me show you how that would look for the logo. Okay, so let's just say we're going to go in this one because we want it to be elegant. So create a luxury logo for design it with Tammie Gibbs, featuring a black background and gold foil text. Now that's leaving a lot up to the imagination of the AI. So there you go. Design it with Tammie Gibbs. Cool. You can control with your prompt how exactly you want it to look, but it does give you some quick ways that you can do up if you just want to do it that way. All right, let's see what's next. T-shirt designs. Okay, so the t-shirt designs to work like a t-shirt design. You can just go in if you want this design, then you can literally change just the wording. If you want it to be everything else, but you just want the wording, you can say, I could put in my, okay, groovy, the background is bright, solid, blah, blah, blah. Small star accent is placed beside the word design. And we're leaving everything else the same. So you can do it that way. Now, not only can you use it this way, now this one did not, it's got design it with design and it left out the Tammie. So you would have to go in and kind of revamp it. So let's see if we can get it to work. So let's remove this about the star accent with the design and see if that will make it do it right. There we go. Design it with Tammie Gibbs, and you kind of get that style. We can add in other things to give it to do it like that, or we can completely change it. Just because it looks like those, it does look like those, does not mean that we can't change it. Like this, we could restructure it completely. We could say a vintage dollhouse with the text life in a box. And then we would do whatever aspect ratio you would go in and pick, depending on how you want to do it. Life in a box. Okay, now I did not tell it I didn't give it anything else to do as far as for the t-shirt thing. So I could have said, gone back in and did it as a watercolor. Let's grab the soft watercolor illustration. I can tell it where to put with the text life in a box underneath the house or the dollhouse in a pretty font, large scale. Okay, and then we're gonna put that we want it all in watercolor. So I mean, you just build your image, your image prompt the same as you would for anything else, but design it for a t-shirt, and then you can use it within this. So here we have the image here, life in a box, and we have a cute little image. I don't know what this is, which I would erase that down at the bottom. But there we have something that could be a cute little image on a t-shirt. And like I said, I'm just playing with things here, but you see how pretty a watercolor this is. So this could be just an image. You wouldn't have to, you could use it for anything. You could use it for a note card and put, instead of life in a box, we put you're invited to our housewarming. You're invited to our housewarming. Look how cute that is. You're invited to our housewarming. And this is under t-shirt, so you definitely can do your t-shirt designs, but you can do other things. You can actually get some pretty nice looking watercolors and images doing this. So if we wanted to regenerate this, we could actually ask for 4 of them and get 4 different variations of the design. So when you get something you kind of like, that's when you can do the 4. You see in most cases, it does the text correct. And in all of these, the text is correct, but you get different versions of that, right? Awesome, right? And another thing you can do is if you don't like the way that this does, but you like just the houses, you could just do the houses, take the bottom parts off, and then select, the script that you want to do it and build it out in Canva or even in the Artistly's Advanced. Okay, so back over here, we've done t-shirts, social media post. Obviously, you can do a social media post. So this is like a banner for brand tips. And so you could just go in and change up, square social media banner with a gradient background, transitions, centered, blah, blah, blah. 5 tips for creating a memorable brand. And you just change out what you want in there. But you can also build it from the ground up. So you could say, create a social media post with 5 ways to save money. The background should have a large pink piggy bank with floating dollar signs around it. And we would make it whatever aspect ratio. There, well, we've got that. We did not get, I love the pig. I'll end up using him. He is so super cute. Okay, so the 5 ways to save money. We can go back in and generate. Okay, so say in across the top of the. Okay, so let's try this and see if that works. Let's see. I love the pig. Really cute. Okay, so we didn't get that. So let's go back in here. I'm going to figure it out. Okay, so with the text in a simple serif font across the top. But these are cute. I mean, these would be really cute to do a whole pack up for anybody that's in the financial industry or doing like a blog or something like that. Those would be really cute. 5 ways to save money. And we finally got it. We just have to specify we want it text and we want it in what kind of font we want it. And there we go. So we've got that. Okay, so now going back to the original social media post, you can definitely, you can adjust what they already have. You can use the structure that they have laid in. We could always, paste down here that we want. Let's see here. Nope, not that. A pink pig bank with floating dollar signs. And see if it'll add that in. Now this is going to change that aspect ratio because we didn't specify anything else. So we'll just see. We'll see if it leaves all the other stuff and if it adds our pig in there somewhere. Okay, that's very cool. Now see, we just told it to add the pig and it totally changed it up. So see, that's pretty cool. And all we did was add that to the bottom of it. We could have changed up we could do 5 tips for saving money here. Just change this, saving money. And let's see, we could we'll just do design it with Tammie Gibbs. Or let's do this one because I actually have this one. Let's do this. The name of my fun and frugal living. And let's see what it does now at Instagram. I don't have one for that one, so I'd have to do design it. And high quality, then we could do it like this and see what it looks like. We still have our pig in there, but we changed out our name and the title of the social media post. So this could be a cool feature, really. Especially if it'll let you can just tag the end of it with the image that you want it to put on there. How cute. Now see, that's really cool. 5 tips for saving money. I've got fun and frugal. Now that down there did not do just right, but you could play with that. And you may want to keep this, create a square social media banner with gradient background that transitions smoothly. You may want to leave all of that and then place your text, and then you may want to work on the other text portions to get it the way you want it. But that's pretty cool. So that, in addition to what you can actually just create an image, like these, just create the image, or this one. But you can also still do this social media post. So that's pretty self-explanatory. The seamless patterns, we know that we can just go in here and we could do right here. We could just say minimalist seamless pattern. It's in here. We've not been able to get truly seamless, but it's still really cool if you just want a quick digital paper. Like a background or something that you want to do, and it doesn't have to be seamless. So you could do you could go in and change and say, where it says soft watercolor, instead of hearts and pastel blue, we could put pink piggy banks. with floating dollar signs. And do it like that. Oops. Let's go over here. Personal designs. Let's look at what's next while we're waiting on that. So seamless patterns, and then the poster maker. Let's look at what it does. Okay, so you've got a couple. You've got music festival, wedding ceremony, so let's just look with this one. Poster, and then let's do everything else. Let's do with beautiful watercolor. Let's do the watercolor here. And we're there. Peonies. In a soft pink color with the text, welcome to our wedding, in large script. Then below, Tom and Alice. And let's just see what that looks like. And in the meantime, let's go up and see. So we didn't get our pink pigs, so we would have to go back in. We did get the dollar sign. So somewhere in our prompt, we did not piggy banks. Floating, the hearts. Okay, so let's see. The piggy banks have a slightly uneven hand-painted texture, so we left that out. So in each piggy bank, you have to change everything if you're changing it up. Now, an easier way to do that would have probably been, and I will show you this. Okay, so welcome to our wedding, Tom and Alice. There we go. And we've got the soft watercolor, so it just came up. Now, personally, I don't like those little short. I don't want it to lay this out for me. I want to do it myself. But if you're in a hurry, or you just want to play with it, or you just want to get it to do the outlines or whatever you want to do, then that little poster feature is kind of cool. And if you're in a hurry and you're just wanting something really fast, then you could do that. And this is so cute. Here is my little piggy banks. Here are my little dollar signs. And we were able to amend that and get that sort of that design. But you can also put your own prompts in, which is what I recommend, but that's how the feature works. You can get these variations for the seamless patterns. You have all these different styles that you can, like, if you just wanted to go in and say you wanted, a jaguar print here, then this one would be, you'd select that and then just change it out to like a jaguar instead of a zebra print. So anyway, so how that can work. Poster, we just did that. Sticker, you can get sticker with pretty much everything, but you can do really quick. You could say, like I could design it. If I wanted a quick sticker. I could also, this is pure white background. I could change this to a black background. Each letter instead of different vibrant colors, I would do metallic gold. And so we could try to get a sticker out of this. There we go. Think positive. Okay, so I did not eliminate think positive. So, but that's a cute and it's a sticker. So let's regenerate it and see if we can get what we want. So instead of saying here, features the text. Okay, so this is where I should have also put design it with Tammie Gibbs. And I think that'll get us where we want to be. Shh. She's just having a time today. For a little bitty dog. Design it with Tammie Gibbs. Now that did not do it exactly like a sticker. So I would have to go back in and change it up. Let's the sticker features the text centered on a clean black background with a white outline. Try that way. Don't you love people that do videos? There we go. Now we got a sticker. So you just keep playing with it. Get what you want. Okay, so poster maker, sticker maker, and the cards and invites. Cards and invites. Goodness. So let's just say, let's go back over here and I'll grab this. And we'll kind of work with it this is mainly just to save time. Okay, I'm gonna go back over here to cards and invites. Again, I don't use these that a lot because I like to do them myself and I just like to create the art and then put it all together and make pretty invitations. But again, you can still use this feature to do all sorts of things. So now this just says welcome to our wedding, not an invitation because I didn't change the wording and everything. But that goes to show you this is a pretty watercolor style. So it shows you that within that luxurious wedding invitation, it can give you some pretty images. So let's just take out the wedding invitation and just leave beautiful peonies and take away the text, and then we can probably just get some flowers. See? And so you could create. Let's look here and let's grab these. Goodness. Layered Southern Mix. Let's try this one. And go in here. Whoops, wrong one. Let's just add these. Again, very versatile tool. In video one, which was part one, see, You can kind of get a little mixture here. So you can use these features for all sorts of things. So in part one, I basically went through and showed you how you can create various images. They don't within each one of the generators. So basically you're treating AI Image Designer V6. This tier are all generators. They're different generators that have a focus. The focus would be perfect text in this one. The focus would be photorealism, animal, seamless patterns, logo, t-shirt, social media, but you don't have to use them for those focuses. Those are just, they're trained a little extra on being able, to do those things, and they give you some little shortcuts to get those items. But every one of these is basically an individual generator or designer that's going to yield different results. Okay. In today's video, part B, I have broken it down to show you how how the tools work to get what they're intended to do, basically, and with a few extras along the way. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, part 1B, and that you will continue to watch the rest of my series. We'll start on part 2, or the AI Design Agents tier, in the next video. So be sure and stay tuned. I'm going to be walking you through this entire tier, and we're going to be doing it exactly the same way that we did it with the AI Image Designer V6 tier. So I hope these are going to help you learn to use your product better, kind of, I guess, eliminate some of the preconceived notions about the product. And when you look at it very simply, that this tier is all about generators and different generators you can use, then all of the rest of this stuff kind of goes away. And then if you need to do you want to do an animal and do it, in these different styles, then yes, pull it out, use it for that. But otherwise, you're thinking of all of these as being just like designers. You can get different results with your prompts within these individual designers that are trained a little differently for different types of images. But it doesn't mean you can't get other images out of it. It just means that it has some special knowledge in those areas, if that makes any sense. Or that has been my working understanding of it and the way it has worked for me. So I treat all of these just like designers, just the same way as here or here. These over here can also yield me results. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed the video and you're enjoying this series. And be sure and check out my links in the description for Artistly. If you don't already have it, you need it. And I appreciate when you use my code. Be sure and join my Facebook group. It's free. I also have a newsletter that's free. What else? Be sure and check out all of my playbooks. I'm up to 10 at this point, and by the time you're watching this, I may have even more. They help you to prompt quicker and better, and it's just like a whole system to use. They are best-selling and just hundreds of 5-star reviews on the playbooks, so check them out. I have links to both of my stores, Gumroad and Etsy, in the description. And be sure and leave me a comment. Be sure and subscribe. And until next time, happy creating.